Former UFC heavyweight champion Cain Velasquez has received a 5-year prison sentence for attempted murder.
5 years in prison, that's the sentencing for former UFC star Cain Velasquez.
Cain Velasquez was taken into custody immediately after that 5-year sentence was handed down.
Despite efforts to free him by a huge public movement.
I'm hoping that the judge that looks at this case says, you know what, this family suffered enough.
But in the world, who respect himself, who love his family, is gonna do same thing.
Cain is doing jail time.
Cain Velasquez was calm and didn't show much emotion as he was sentenced this afternoon.
I believe that in some ways justice was served today, despite feeling disappointed that he is back in custody.
But did the Free Cain Velasquez movement truly fail, or is there more than meets the eye on this one?
His supporters say they plan to be a constant presence during any legal proceedings.
How does Cain's case compare against other vigilante stories where parents have taken the law into their own hands? Did the Free Cain Velasquez movement fail? On February 28, 2022, a high-speed chase took place in Santa Clara County, California. An armed Velasquez chased after a vehicle that contained Harry Goulart Jr., who had been arrested prior to the incident for allegedly being a pedophile, who had committed acts on Cain Velasquez's son over 100 times at a daycare center owned by the Goulart family.
Prosecutors say it was an alleged sexual misconduct.
A truly life-changing ordeal for any family to go through for both the parents and, most importantly, the child. This 11-mile chase turned into an attempted murder incident. Hunting the family vehicle, Cain attempted to ram the car off the road with intent. He then pulled out his firearm and shot at the man through the window but missed, instead hitting the man's stepfather, who was also in the vehicle, causing him non-life-threatening injuries.
Goulart's stepdad was ultimately shot in the arm and treated for a non-life-threatening injury. Goulart's sister, who was also in the vehicle, identified Velasquez as the gunman. He was later spotted by police and arrested without incident.
The facts are that Cain Velasquez attempted to murder a man who allegedly committed acts on his child, shooting his weapon into a car full of family members on a busy highway. The danger of this act must be acknowledged while considering Cain's motives. It was highly dangerous, and the other members outside of the vehicles could have been killed or harmed. This, however, does not distract from the fact that the accused PDF that Cain fired at is still free, something that is difficult to comprehend considering that Cain has already been behind bars for a long time. So with the latest news that Cain has now been jailed for 5 years as a result, it begs the question, was this a fair result? By comparing other cases to this one, a complicated picture is painted. In 1984, an exceptional event took place at Baton Rouge Airport. Meet karate coach Jeff Doucette. He was accused of repeatedly abusing Jody Plauche, then kidnapping him at Disneyland to carry out more sinister acts. Gary Plauche tracked down and hunted the kidnapper who assaulted his 11-year-old son and killed him on live TV. Gary waited in disguise at the airport and shot the culprit 3 feet away while the cameras were rolling. He was given a 7-year suspended sentence. The judge's reasoning was that he was no threat to the community. Similar comments were made by the judge when trialing Cain.
Punishment comes in many ways, and one of the worst is forcing a father to not be present in his child's life. This is a tragic case. Mr. Velasquez is not a danger to public safety.
In another case, Eleanor Starr Nessler made headlines on April 2nd, 1993 when she killed Daniel Mark Driver, who had been accused of abusing her then 6-year-old son.
Yeah, I have to be nervous. You know, I'm facing 30 to life. Whether I go to jail or whether I get an acquittal, I want to see the laws change for innocence.
In the courtroom of the Jamestown Justice Court, she fired 5 shots into Driver's head, killing him instantly. Driver had previous convictions for child abuse at the time. This sparked a national debate about vigilantism.
Nessler is pleading not guilty by reason of insanity. And as Angie Crouch tells us, there are still plenty of people who think she did the right thing.
Nessler, however, was proven to be under the influence of methamphetamines when she killed Driver. She served 3.5 years as her case wended its way through trial and appealed before she pleaded guilty to voluntary manslaughter. She was released in 1997. Both of those cases resulted in less strict sentencing than Cain's. However, the fact of the matter is that he was going to receive some form of jail time for this trial, considering the danger that was involved. He's also already served 1,283 days of this, which means he'll only be in jail for another 2 years. Bear in mind his maximum sentence was 40 years. So really this is a massive victory for Cain and his lawyers.
I do think that the court made a good decision today.
Considering what Velasquez was formally charged with, which was 1 count of attempted first-degree murder, as well as several additional charges including 1 count of shooting at a motor vehicle, 3 counts of assault with a firearm, 1 count of willfully discharging a firearm from a vehicle, and 1 count of carrying a loaded firearm with intent to commit a felony. There was a lot at stake. The car he shot at was on a very busy highway with lots of traffic. There were also 3 people in the car he shot into. If it was Harry Gillard Jr. who was shot, the case might have been completely different. It's also worth considering that he had, and admits, intent.
Yeah, man, just always continue to be better as a person, always do good things, and yeah, just make something positive of this terrible situation, you know?
Yes, he acted in a way many parents would react in this situation, but in an extremely dangerous way in a busy public setting. The prosecution on the other side of the case also suggests that allegations against Harry Jr. are unfounded with no evidence.
The sentence is extremely disappointing. It's based on an alleged allegation that has no basis. It is unfounded. We are looking for the opportunity in Harry's case to prove that.
And that Kane deserves 30 years at least for his crime.
The only person who is responsible for the crimes that Mr. Velasquez committed is Mr. Velasquez.
This all adds to the complexity of the situation at hand. Now, because of his profile and the nature of this case and the name it involves, media fanfare erupted when Velasquez was initially arrested. Fans rallied around the beloved former champ.
I've gone with him to a children's hospital to visit kids and see the joy that he brings people. He's the least amount of threat to anybody in this world.
This was not another Oscar Pistorius-style case or O.J. Simpson where acts of violence took place with sinister intentions. The motive of Cain Velasquez's attempted murder trial was emotionally induced. The man that is accused of committing crimes against his family walks free right now.
In court, the prosecutor showed a recorded interview with the child. It was shot right after the alleged molestation was reported. Both in that video and on the stand, the child identified Goulart as his molester.
This is a really hard pill to swallow. The fact that an accused PDF walks free whilst Kane sits in jail feels unjust, wrong, and painful.
Cain Velasquez's wife also took the stand today, recounting the moment the child told her about the alleged assault.
Your dad just told me something happened in the bathroom at school today. What happened in the bathroom?
I don't think Cain Velasquez would ever go to this extent of hurting somebody and committing a crime that could have put him in prison for life.
An abuser can be out with the family, but the person that did try to protect his family, he can't have bail. The system doesn't make sense.
But the fact remains, Kane did shoot into a car full of people on a busy highway and hit someone who wasn't the man who allegedly committed unthinkable crimes.
The stepdad, who was hit twice, says he doesn't have full use of his right arm anymore.
If that man had died, he would have done 25 to life for sure. So regardless of the free Kane fanfare, this is absolutely the best result and is a massive victory for his lawyers.
I do think that the court made a good decision today. One that takes into consideration all of the complexities of this case, the context about why this happened, and also takes into consideration who all of us know Mr. Velasquez to be, which is fundamentally a good man and a good father.
Whether the Free Kane movement benefited the case or not is unclear, but it feels likely from the outcome that it certainly helped to draw attention to the events and keep things in the public eye at a consistent rate over the last 3 years.
Ultimately, the judge said this is a unique case and could not be heard in a vacuum, noting the circumstances around it had to be taken into account.
The Free Cain Velasquez trend that followed the case online around the time of the arrest signaled huge public attention. Fighters and promoters also played their part.
Your kid be molested, I mean, we talk about that all the time, like we would do that, but he was in that situation, he actually did it, so Free Kane.
Son was being abused. Every time I'm thinking about that, and I think that Cain Velasquez is in the jail right now, and the guy who was molesting his child is out there, you know, it's just make me crazy.
Velasquez's lawyer presented 37 letters of support for Velasquez from people such as Dana White, Khabib, Kelvin Gastelum, Henry Cejudo, Daniel Cormier, Kyung Lee, Islam Makhachev, and Scott Coker.
So many people, when we say free Cain and go support Cain Velasquez, it's like we are not by any means saying that what Cain Velasquez did was right. You can't do that. What we're saying is look at the whole story, or at least the story that we have.
This all drew attention to the trial in a positive way for Cain.
I want to appreciate, just thank everyone. Like, I truly appreciate everyone's support in all of it. Like, it means so much to me. It gave me a lot of strength when I was in there.
On a final note, I think it's important to hear how Cain reflects on his time in jail and what he has learned from the experience.
But I took the opportunity to be with myself. It was good and bad, but it was like mainly good, like I believe like a lot of people should experience something like that. Like have their freedoms like taken away, to appreciate what you have. And it's like the smallest of things that we take for granted. Yeah, man, like we're so blessed every day, and we're so like down on like the dumbest things.